Hi, I'm Mark Bryant. Welcome to another edition of our baseball preview series for Big South 2026. Very happy now to turn to the head coach of the Presbyterian College Blue Hose, Elton Pollock. Elton, welcome. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mark.
Let's get right into 2026. What are you emphasizing going into the season? What's preseason practice been like? Are there any areas you're trying to improve?
Oh, we try to improve in every area, for sure. Just really excited about the group that we have. Just some changes from last year toward the end, and looking to put ourselves back in contention in the league, for sure. But we have been emphasizing really staying healthy, number one, trying to get to the starting line without limping and be on, a good even footing to be able to project our season. And so, with what we've been working on a lot is just our defense, obviously, and, offensive production, playing within the system, and then just throwing strikes at a different level, trying to drive down some of those walks and free bases and put ourselves in a position to win.
Let's talk about the team you've put together here. What have you got in terms of returners and veterans versus newcomers, and is there a specific area or position group you needed to retool?
Yeah, well, just starting on the positional side, Amon Dewberry really leading us as a captain this year. One of our big returners, big bats, had 8 home runs last year. Looking forward to him projecting. Played in the draft league this summer and got some valuable experience there. Matthew Rollison is returning, our leading hitter, returning as far as average is concerned. I think he was a 295 or so hitter last year, and really great production in the doubles category, so he's got the potential to drive the baseball. And then some new additions on the positional side. Some of it we're still navigating, got to see him play a little bit, but really those two veterans kind of anchoring everything. Brody Linker, our shortstop, is back. He can see a little time on the mound as well. Kind of on the back end of games and kind of progressing in that direction, but he'll is projected to be our starting shortstop there. And then one of our key pickups, I think, was as a transfer, Caden Mason behind the dish. We're really excited about him just from a leadership standpoint and adding some thump with the barrel a little bit. Transitioning to the pitching side, we got Mason McDaniel here, left-hander. His brother Charlie pitched in our league a couple of years ago. Is now pitching in pro ball. We're really excited for him. And, moving to Kyle Mueller. Kyle Mueller's a senior. He was at this last year, and he's healthy. Excited about Kyle as well. And then Tyrell Williams is someone that we're going to look to eat up a lot of innings for us, and so we're excited.
Well, let me pluck a couple names out of that group. You mentioned outfielder Amon Dewberry, pitcher Tyrell Williams. They're back. So talk about expectations for those two in particular and what strengths they bring to the Blue Hose.
I think more leadership for the Dewberry piece, just in his ability, how he carries himself, a very faith-driven kid. I think that's really kind of the shell that we operate in at Presbyterian and how I operate our team. So I'm glad to see him kind of thrusted into that leadership role. And I do think, he does have major expectations for his output. And I think he's a guy with professional potential. And, hopefully we'll be able to see it come to fruition there. With Tyrell is just a guy that redshirted for us as a freshman. He's now in his 3rd year, but he's a redshirt sophomore, and I think he's got some real upside, just ability to locate now 3 pitches effectively, primarily a fastball changeup guy before, but now really implementing the slider into his arsenal, I think could really make him a valuable asset, and honestly one of the top pitchers in the league.
Let's drill down into the hitting a bit. Where's the offensive production coming from? What's the engine behind all this? Is there a big 3 or 4? Who are your hitters that we should know about?
That I want to mention, but no, I think the Dewberry piece. We did lose Fenderson. Fenderson transferred. He's playing at Pitt now, and that's a lot of offense from an average, a hits standpoint, a run production standpoint that we'll be missing in our offense. But I'm very confident. A lot of it's going to be newcomers, so I think to name names, they wouldn't know who they are yet, at least from that standpoint. But I think we do have some anchors in who I mentioned previously with Amon Dewberry, with Andrew Albertus, kind of a leadoff spark plug type of outfielder. Injured toward the end of last year, so playing time toward the end of the season was not as it was in the beginning. But and then the Rollison piece, and then, Matt Rollison he's going to give you a tough out every time. Strikeouts are pretty minimal and tends to hit the baseball pretty hard. I'm hoping he can creep up into that 20 doubles category this year. So that's what we're looking for that production to come from.
Well, let's flip it to the mound for a second. Are you having a rotation coming together? Is there a Friday starter emerging? Where are the innings coming from for you?
Well, Tyrell's going to anchor that for the most part. He'll anchor it. The projection is right now Friday night, but we do have some guys in contention, so we're looking forward to how that all plays out. I think Kyle Mueller, you'll see him kind of play in to that rotation, and then we've got a couple of guys vying for it. Tristan McGregor, who's a veteran, he's probably has the most experience of any pitcher on our staff, right-hander, and looking forward to see how consistent he can be to really get the nod. And Sammy Vanderhill, transfer that came in with us, junior college transfer that has shown a lot of promise here of late. Christian Cheralambus, he's a lefty that was injured last year from New Jersey. That kid has just got the moxie, I think, that really could really propel him into that role. But if not, kind of thickens our pen up a little bit and shores that up. And, a senior Robbie Boykin, he threw a lot in starter and relief roles. He's been better as a reliever. I think he's kind of embraced that role and really started to enhance his arsenal with the off speed in addition to being able to throw kind of a lower 90s fastball.
Excellent. So it all gets going February 13th. You got Akron coming to your place. Tell us about the non-conference schedule you got, what folks should know about what's ahead for PC.
The slate is a lot tougher, I think, this year on the weekend. We always play a relatively tough schedule because we will schedule the Power 5 schools. And so we still have the South Carolinas, the Clemsons, the Georgias, even Tennessee this year mixed into that. But, there's a lot of competition right in this region that's very tough. So we've got App State for a 3-game series. That'll be a home, neutral, and then away series that we'll play with them. Very close with Kermit Smith, their head coach. And so we're going to get together for the first time, I don't know if ever, but in a long time that we've played App State. And then we go down to Samford, one of the top teams in the SoCon, for a 3-game series. We go down to North Florida as well, so just a lot of comparable competition that I think will be at the upper echelon, comparable to the upper echelon of the Big South, that hopefully puts us in a place of contention in the league.
Well, we look forward to seeing it. We wish you and all the Blue Hose the best of luck this year, and we thank you for watching another edition of our baseball preview series for Big South 2026.